Atomic structure and periodic table mid-unit test. Number 1. 4 students were asked to name the parts of an atom that determine the atom's identity and chemical properties. The students' responses are shown in the table below. We have the students right here. Which students' responses are correct? Is it A, student 1? They believe that the part of the atom that determines identity, determines the name, is the neutrons. The part of the atom that determines the chemical properties is the electron cloud. Is it B, student 2? The name or identity is protons. The part that determines chemical properties is valence electrons. Or is it C, student 3? The name or the identity comes from the valence electrons. The part of the atom that determines the chemical property is the protons. Which student is correct? Number 2, using your periodic table. How many protons, neutrons, and electrons are present in the atom of hafnium? HF, so find that on your periodic table, HF, with a mass of 178. Is it A, 72 protons, 178 neutrons, 106 electrons? B, 72 protons, 106 neutrons, 72 electrons? Or is it C, 178 protons, 250 neutrons, 72 electrons? Find that atom, hafnium. Number 3. Group 18 of the periodic table includes the noble gases, all of which are B, are found only in the Earth's atmosphere, C, are missing one electron in the outer orbital, or D, have filled valence electron shells. So noble gases. What do you know about the noble gases? Number 4. An atom of a certain element has 36 protons, 36 electrons, and a mass of 84. At room temperature, this element is a very stable gas. How many neutrons are in the atom? 36 protons, 84 mass. How many neutrons? Number 5. Students were examining a lustrous or shiny element that has the properties of high density. It is conductive and it is non-flammable. Which elements were the students most likely observing? B, hydrogen, C, carbon, D, chromium. Number 6. A chemist is identifying the elements present in a sample of seawater. What characteristic of an element's atoms always determines the element's identity? Identity means name. How do you know the identity or name of an atom? Is it A, the number of protons, B, the neutrons, or C, the valence electrons? Identity or name, what do you use? Number 7. Iodine has an atomic number of 53 and is neutral. How many electrons does iodine have? Atomic number 53. How many electrons? Number 8. In the early 1900s, many scientists thought that an atom consisted of positive substances with a negative charge scattered throughout the substance. Then Ernest Rutherford completed an experiment that changed the concept of the atom. His discovery led to understanding that the atom consists mostly of space with. So what does an atom have inside of it? A, protons orbiting a dense nucleus made of electrons and neutrons. B, neutrons and protons orbiting a cloud of electrons, so the neutrons and protons go around. Or is it C, electrons orbiting around a dense nucleus made of protons and neutrons? Which one of those is correctly identified atoms? Number 9. The model of an atom is shown below. We have our electrons and we have our nucleus. Which element is represented by the model in the atom above? So look at my electrons. Which atom is it using my periodic table? And then going with it, number 10, is that element represented by the Bohr model in this question reactive or non-reactive? Number 11, what determines the reactivity of an atom? B, the number of neutrons, C, the location of valence electrons, or D, the number of valence electrons? What determines reactivity? Number 12, element R and element Q have the same number of valence electrons. These elements have similar chemical behavior, but element R has fewer energy levels than Q. This has less levels than that one. Which statement best describes the position of the two elements in the periodic table? A, they are in the same period, with element R as the first element in the period and element Q as the last element. B, they are side by side in the same period, with element Q on the left of element R. Or the two elements are in the same group above each other, with element R just above element Q. Number 13. Students in a science class prepared flashcards so they could quiz one another about the arrangement of the periodic table. One of the flashcards contained information for the following two elements, element L and element M. So we have atoms of element M have two more valence electrons than atoms of element L. Atoms of element L are more reactive than atoms of element M. Both elements are metals. The students have to use the information on the flashcard to determine the possible positions of the two elements on a blank periodic table. Which periodic table has the elements placed in location? So notice, element M has two more valence electrons than element L. So M has two more than L. Element L is more reactive than element M. So which one would that be? L and M, L and M, or M and L? Number 14. Using the Bohr model below, identify the element. We have 9 protons and 10 neutrons. What is the element? Look at your periodic table, look at your electrons and protons, and see what is the element. And is this element reactive? Reactive or non-reactive? 16. Which of the Bohr models below shows an atom of the element phosphorus, or P? Phosphorus is P, right?